All right, what's going on out there, man? This isn't a TTC video. This is it's a random video, and it's from my boy Younglink. Who did his video. He kind of looks like he wants some answers, so trying to give him some about this Easter thing. All right, here I go, Younglink. So back in Acts chapter 12, verse 4, the only time that the word Easter is mentioned. Now, if you look at it, just go ahead and do your study on it, man. That word Easter in Acts 12, verse 4 was actually substituted for the word Passover. Easter didn't even exist. It was formerly a thing called Ishtar. Ishtar, and everybody can Google this up for themselves. Look for the word Ishtar and just Google it up. Ishtar is just another goddess. You know what I'm saying? It's a goddess that the pagans were worshiping. So Constantine incorporated this Easter thing into this. Ishtar is a fertility thing, which is she was a god of the Canaanites. She has many forms right now. You can call her Mary, you can call her Queen of Heaven, you can call her anything like that. But that's who Ishtar is. All right, Younglink. If you're into the New Testament, you can go to Colossians 2 verse 8. I know you're going into theology school or Bible seminar school and things like that, but don't let anybody spoil you, bro. Don't let anybody spoil you. Don't look at traditions of men. You have everything at your fingertips. You have Google. You have all types of things. You got YouTube. You can study to show yourself improvement. The information is there. But if you want to hide something, most of the time you can put it in a book and people won't read it. This is Ishtar throughout the years has had words like Ostare, Ashteroth, Semiramis. Semiramis was actually the mother of Tammuz. And also, Nimrod does come in play. This Nimrod is actually Baal, who actually, in essence, is the wife of Ishtar, who also is really called Isis. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can turn to Judges. I think it's Judges chapter 2, and it's verse 11 through 13, and it pretty much describes Ashtaroth and Balaam. How they was worshiping them even back then. So chapter 2, verse 11, verse 11 through 13. And as a matter of fact, let me just get my Bible here and kind of read over this so you can see where I'm coming from, bro. Judges 2, 11 through 13. I think it's after Joshua. Yeah. So it says, and the children of Yashar'Allah did evil in the sight of Ayah and served Balaam. And again, that doggone Balaam is really Nimrod. And they forsook Ayah, god of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, or Mitzrayim, and followed other gods with a little g, other gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked Ayah to anger. And they forsook Ayah and served Baal and Ashtaroth. See, they was already serving the Queen of Heaven all the way back then. You know what I'm saying? Fertility gods have been around for a while, man. You got the Easter. The reason why the Easter egg is portrayed. It's all commercialized now. It's totally fake. But you look at some keywords like Freya. That's the Scandinavian god of fertility. Nimrod and Semiramis. Semiramis was actually the mother and wife of Nimrod. Same name, Ishtar, and Ishtar actually became the sun god. And I think how it all went down was Ishtar, I think, created an egg. The egg fell into the Euphrates River, and it's this weird thing. Just look it up on Google. You'll find it. And the reason why Easter falls on different times of the year, because this Easter thing, the first full moon after the spring equinox brings in Easter. Okay? Yeah, they, and Tammuz was killed by this wild boar, and it liked rabbits or something like that. And if you go to Ezekiel chapter 8, I think it's verse 7 through 14. Let me try to get to it, big dog. Yeah, Ezekiel chapter 8, 7 through 14. Let me see what that reads. Yeah, so it said, and he brought me to the door of the court. Pretty much what I'm gonna break it down what it says, man. There sat women weeping for Tammuz. There again, Tammuz is actually mentioned in the Bible. That's the queen of heaven. That's why these women were weeping for her. And then you get to verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of Aya's house, and behold, the door of the temple of the Ayah between the porch and the altar were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of Ayah and their faces toward the east, and they worship the sun. Now you see, man, this is more sun worship, and this is very important when you get to everything kind of like in Christianity, Catholicism happening even on Sunday. You know why in Spanish it's called Domingo, giving dominion to the sun. Like I said, first Sunday after the first full moon following the vernal equinox or the spring equinox is spring, unless the Sunday following Passover, because if Passover interferes, it's going to be the Sunday following the Passover, which Easter is observed. Now the Passover is actually the 10th of the month of Abib, which is equivalent to the April. Now think just something simple like that, Younglink. Think about that, man. Think about it. What on this calendar that you observe right now, what month starts the first month of the year? January, right? Janus, which is another kind of Greek Roman god. You know, it got the head facing toward the last year and got the new head facing toward the new year. But just think about it. The season that you learn, what does your season start with? Spring, summer, fall, and winter, right? Not winter, spring, summer, fall. So you mean to tell me that your year starts in the dead middle of winter in January? Nah, man. It starts in Abib. That is the first month of the year. And it has been changed throughout history with the Romans. They have absolutely changed the times. Now, the whole thing about this dying Easter egg thing, you know, that's some real satanic stuff, man, because that goes all the way back to these priests. It's a I forgot what you call it, but it's a priest. They was impregnating virgins, and what they would do, they would sacrifice the infants that these virgins had from them, and with the blood of these infants, they would dye the babies. They would dye the eggs with the baby's blood. And that's where you get the whole dyeing the Easter egg thing, man. People don't even think about it this day and age, but that's where it comes from. It's traditions of men. That's what it comes from. Now again, Passover, 10th day of Abib, 14th and 15th day is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know, you can go to Exodus chapter 23, verse 16. You know, Exodus 23, 16. I'll try to take you through that too, big dog. You know, follow me. This might be a kind of a long video, but you know, I told you I get a video up for you, bro. And the Feast of Harvest, the Feast of First Fruits of thy labor, which thou hast sown in the field, and the Feast of Gatherings, which is the end of the year, which thou hast gathered in thy labors of the field. So 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before I yell their power. Those are some like real holidays. You can go to Leviticus 23, verse 1 through 5. Leviticus 23, verse 1 through 5. And it's going to say, and Ayah spake to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Yasharallah, and say unto them concerning the feast of Ayah, which ye shall proclaim to be thy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of rest, holy convocation. You should do no work therein. It is Shabbat of Ayah in thy dwellings. And here we have in verse 5, in the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. So there you have it. That doesn't change. It's always going to be the 14th day. That's Passover. It doesn't change like Easter. Easter isn't dictated by Passover. Easter is dictated by moons and stuff like that. But this is dictated by what the Most High gave us, a specific date. And when you look at it, man, ask whoever is teaching you Younglink. Ask them, man. Go to Jeremiah 16:19. I'm sure it's gonna be some kind of Gentile teaching you, man. But it's a curriculum. Just like with anything, man, it's a curriculum. And ask them where they get, their information from. Jeremiah 16:19 talking about these Gentiles gonna gather from when this truth starts coming out, man. The truth gonna start coming out, and I see a lot of people already starting to know that they have inherited lies from their pastors, from these elitist people of the world. It's all lies that they have. Even if you go to Jeremiah chapter 10, I think it's verse 1 through 7. You can even see that Christmas right there, man. It's all paganism, bro. And the Most High hates it. You want to know how I know he hates? And people say, oh, your God can't hate. Nah, man, you go to Amos chapter 5, verse 21, and it said the Most High despised your feast days. And this is considered one of the feast days. Easter, Christmas, he hates that stuff, bro. And it's right here in your Bible, and you're going to be going to school for this. And, these are things that you can ask your, whoever is teaching you this. Again, you can go to Jeremiah, I think it's 7, verse, I think it's verse 18, I think. Let me make sure. It's at the Isaiah. And it mentions something about the Queen of Heaven, Ishtar. Man, and then you can go to Proverbs 21, verse 27. Even though you may be doing things ignorantly, you're still sacrificing in wickedness, bro. There's things that you can look up, dude. Now pertaining to this Easter, when Christ rose, some people say he died on Friday, some say he died on Wednesday. So what it is we know he rose, and they said he rose on the third day, right? But if you go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 5 and verse 8, you can see how that's changed too. Your morning doesn't start the new day. Your day is an evening and a morning. Not a morning and an evening, but it's an evening and a morning. So when you're doing the Shabbat, you think about it, man. If your day starts on a Sunday, it should be Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. The Catholics, they move the Shabbat to Sunday. Again, Domingo. But it's always been Saturday is Sabado, which is Sabbath. It was always the Saturday, but they changed it to Domingo to give it dominion. They changed it to Domingo. So, Matthew 27, verse 1 through 4. You see, they was observing the Passover, man. They was observing Passover, bro. They wasn't observing Easter. Easter wasn't even thought of. Only by the pagans. Easter was thought of by the pagans. So like I said, Constantine incorporated that paganism to appease them. And that's why, it's still worshipped today, man. He did a great job of incorporating this paganism into Christianity. All right, Younglink, here we go, man. Matthew 28, verse 1. In the end of the Shabbat, there it is. Now remember, what I told you, Genesis 1, verse 5 through 8. Sundown, evening to morning is equivalent to a day. As it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. What is the first day of the week? Supposed to be Sunday, right? Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchres. Alright. So, let me give you a breakdown, man. You can go to Mark chapter 16. Also, he had risen. We see he risen, when he had rose. And he rose Saturday evening, actually. But Wednesday night he died, right? He's supposed to be 3 days and 3 nights in the grave, right? Wednesday night he died. That's one night. Thursday morning, one morning. Thursday night, 2 nights. Friday morning, 2 mornings. Friday night, 3rd night. Saturday morning, 3 mornings. So that means that Saturday evening, when it was dawning toward the new day of the week, that would be Saturday evening, that's when he rose, man. There's none of this stuff given Sunday Domingo or Dominion. That's all about is sun worship, man. It has nothing. And even if you say he died on Friday, some people say he died on Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. That would definitely is not equivalent to 3 days and 3 nights. So, don't let them do that. You look at Matthew chapter 12, verse 38 through 40. You see Jonas went through the same thing. 3 days and 3 nights, right? The key to it is, like I said, Genesis chapter 1, verse 5 and verse 8. And some other ones where it says the evening and the morning were the first day. So, bottom line is, Easter is pagan, man. It was something that is man-made. It's worshiping the sun god, the god of heaven, and all that stuff. And it's pagan, bro. And we're in the age of information, man. When people think that they're smart, but if you actually go and look and study and observe things, either one, people will deny it. Once it's hitting right in their face, they'll deny it, right? They'll deny it. It's a simple case of cognitive dissonance. Simply. I mean, if you already have a set belief or something, and when facts are presented right in front of your face and you still deny, that's just called cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? So, and the second thing, people may come to their senses. Like I said, the true word will be preached to the four corners of the earth one day, as it's supposed to be. Not what some people, some certain group of elite people in the world have given you to obey. You'll realize the truth one day. One day, the truth will set you free, and you'll be a god.